Hey guys, I'm here in the herb garden. I'm getting some parsley for my soup, and this parsley just grows here on its own. And I'll show you throughout the season what it does, but we had a pretty mild winter, so it didn't die back so much. So it's now that we're having warmer and longer days, it is kind of perking up and coming alive. So in the last week, it's really just come on, like really nice and lush, and I've been taking I just grab it by handfuls, and I don't even, because there's so much of it, I just grab it and I don't worry much about it. I wanted to show you what it's doing though. This is a seed stalk. You can see it's much thicker and much taller and much sturdier than like a normal, well, that's a bad example because that's a seed stalk too. But this is a normal stem and this is a seed stalk. And you can see it's gonna make a seed head, and it will grow up taller. It will grow 18 to 24 inches high because it wants to get nice and high and throw the seed. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't want the seeds to come on just yet, we're still pretty early in the season, I'm gonna take this off. You can use these leaves in cooking, and you can see how much bigger that stem was. And so that will kind of stop this plant from going to seed. It will immediately send up another flower stalk, but at least I'll have a few days to harvest these other outside leaves. Because it's going to seed, that's what this plant wants to do. Like, here's another big one. Hopefully you can hear with the wind. Here's another one. So I'm gonna go through and take all these off so I can enjoy the parsley all throughout the spring. And then at some point, either it will get away from me and it will send up seed stalks that I haven't caught, or I'll just let it go because it'll be very persistent. And I'll let it go to seed, and then I'll let it throw its own seed. In the meantime, I'm going to pull these. I'm going to use the leaves on these. When you're thinking about lettuce and other things, a similar thing will happen, but a lot of times as soon as it starts to send up a seed stalk, it's no good for eating anymore. With parsley, it's fine. You can just keep using it. So I'll go ahead and use this. Keep an eye on this parsley, but you can see how nice it looks here for absolutely no work at all. Right, I also wanted to show you the oregano. It has put on a ton of new growth. Pretty much everything you see is new growth. It dies back a bit, and I do cut it back in the fall because otherwise what lasts through the winter always just gets damaged. It's no good anyway. So all this new stuff, you can see how pliable the stem is. It's not woody or anything. This is like last year. See how it just snaps? So that's no good. Any leaves that would have been on that would have died. And so all of this is fresh new growth, and this is what I like to pick. And a lot of times I pick what I'm going to use for the whole year in the springtime because the leaves are nice and fresh and they're clean and they're not damaged. The longer they sit out here in the elements, they just kind of, anyway, I take advantage of the explosion of growth, and I pick it over the course of a few different pickings. This is actually just a small patch of the oregano. So I'll pick this. I'll just put it in this container for now, and I'll show you what I do with it when I get it inside. Here's where some new or other oregano is. So this is like all of last year's growth. Sticks. I cut it back because otherwise it's gonna die anyway, and you might as well get it out of the way so that when this new growth comes up, it's more easily accessible. So again, this over here is actually started here and it spread, and then there's a little patch there, and then this is a whole other plant. And again, you can see this is last year's growth. There's leaves in here which I purposely let them here for the winter to help protect the plant, although the oregano is pretty much so invasive that I don't think anything could kill it. But yep, just pick the stems. All this green is new. The oregano also has kind of furry leaves, so if you can get it on a dry day and it's nice and clean like this, if it gets after a rain, it might have gotten kind of battered down into the dirt, and then dirt will get all over these fuzzy leaves. That's why I like to just pick it all at once, dry it, have it for the year when it's clean and fresh and new growth. Alright, so here is oregano. I just pulled this up and you can see this is how it spreads. So this is kind of woody stem. This was last year's growth, and it just grows up and then it falls over, and you can see all those roots along there. I could cut this and plant it. I could cut just like an inch segment of one of these little rooted bits and it would take off in your garden. You can see all along here, after it fell down, at each node, a new stalk came up. So seeing as this traveled along here, it would keep going. So I'm actually going to pull that up. I'll harvest all those shoots, and then that way I don't have to worry about it spreading so much. Again, see here, that belongs way over there. You can see on this thyme plant too how it's trying to grow. It goes along here, and then it shoots new stems up, and then it's gonna root from here. I don't see any roots yet, but the longer it sits here in the moist soil and leaf litter and all that, it will root and travel. So if I would have cut this down in the fall, then this would be sprouting fresh. So this is not too damaged, but because most of this has been here through the whole winter, sometimes it can get kind of damaged and it's not really good for using. So you cut it down, cut it way back, and then see how it's sprouting from the base? And this is all fresh new growth, good, better for using. I can cut all this, harvest these leaves and dry them for later use, and then let the bush grow back. And that is another bush that grew.
I see some bowl.
Yep, pull all the weeds out.
Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me that.
You're welcome. Oh, yeah, there's weeds growing down in there.
Oh.
You pull all the leaves out. See, there's leaves in the base too. Mama leaves the leaves there because in the wintertime it helps protect the plants, and then in the springtime you take them out. I'll have to come through here and clean all these out. Can you smell it? It smells good, huh? With the rosemary, you can see new growth at the ends. Here, see how it's soft? It's soft and not too woody, but down here it's woody. So what you want to do is cut it before it starts growing too much in the spring. Like, see, these ones are dead, so you have to take them off. But these ones, see how that top has a bunch?
Yeah.
And that's all new growth, so it would have been better if we had pruned this back before that started, so it would start farther down. Because the older the leaves are, the more damaged they are, so you want to kind of let it start over from start. Yeah, I know, there's weeds all over. You see it's flowering? Yeah, these little blue flowers. The bees love herb flowers, so we let them go. Some people cut them off, but since these plants are well established, I just let the flowers go. You know what this plant is?
No.
It's part of this plant. Do you know what this big plant is?
No.
It's oregano.
Nice.
And pull up.
What are these?
This one is tarragon.
Tarragon? Cool.
Yeah, for tarragon chicken, right? Look, here's my marker I made a long time ago. I'll stick it there.
Oh.
Yeah, all of this is weeds though.